Hello. How's it going?
Hi.
All right. Welcome to everyone who's able to join us this evening for the first virtual Growler. And when we say Growler, we mean that in all fashion. His dog was barking, so that's fantastic side effects. The things about going live, you can't plan, so that is very apropos for the evening. But thank you all for joining us on Facebook Live. We have an exciting lineup for this evening's program. We have a number of shavees that will be shaving. We have obviously some comments from Mark Williams, the founder and kind of the head organizer with the Growler event, to share a little bit of background. We'll be having some comments from a number of other families throughout the evening that are going to be impacted or have been impacted, their families have, by cancer and things like that. So we're going to have a great program this evening. But thank you all for being with us. Want to explain a little bit about what this is. Most of the people in the Raleigh area, especially those that are on the Zoom call that you're able to witness, are familiar with this, and a number of you out in Growler Nation are familiar with this, but there may be some people that are not familiar with the Growler event and or St. Baldrick's, and I won't steal the thunder from what Mark Williams with the Growler and Jane Hoppin with St. Baldrick's Foundation will say, other than this is a community event that we do and have been doing for the last 10 years associated with St. Baldrick's Foundation and 13 years in running the Growler event itself. And basically it's 32 volleyball teams from other swim clubs that have come together to help our community and help in this worthy cause to help generate resources for cancer research here locally, regionally, and nationally and around the world. Because I'm convinced that one day we will find a cure for cancer and to help in that process. And so, so I know the Growler spirit is out there, and we can't wait to hear from those folks who are out in Growler Nation. We have a big request to you tonight to please take some selfies or share some photos of maybe some days gone by when you were at the Growler and tag that to the Facebook Live page. If you need some direction on how to do that, we can help with that. If you want to send me a text, you sure can. But please also, I'm sure that you know how to, if you don't, you can understand how to post those particular photos of Growler Nation. We want to make sure you're represented. And obviously, Mark will speak to this, that we want to make sure that donations do continue to come in, because even as recent as earlier today, the lines are starting to really heat up with even more monies coming in. So we do want to see that Growler gear out there. If you've got a Growler cup or a Growler old t-shirt or photos, like I said, please do share those, because that's the Growler spirit that we know and love. So with that, I want to just go around the horn here just a little bit and introduce a couple of our shavees this evening. When I read your name, please wave your hand so that the folks out on Facebook Live can see you. Savannah Bukowski and her dad, Adam. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Savannah's going to shave after a little bit. Rob Cash, where are you? There's Rob. Very good, Rob. Thank you for being here. Jeb Powell. Jeb, there he is. Got the hair. Outstanding. Sawyer's dad. You bet. Glad to have you with us. Joe Meyerhofer. What the heck kind of wig are you wearing, sir? That is fantastic. I love it. Is that a comb over from your back, or what do you got going on?
Yeah, that's all over, man. That's everywhere.
I love it. I love it.
All the way.
Extra money is raised from that. That's great. Greg Kloppenstein. Greg, are you there? Yes, there he is. Wave, Greg. Outstanding. Good to see you. And last but not least, Scott Carboni. Scott's up there. And who's that with you? Is that Jackie?
I got the professional in.
Shout out to Jackie.
Very good. Good. From Jackie.
Scott, we're going to do this?
Outstanding. What's that?
You going to get this right here?
What are we doing there?
It's all gone.
Oh, nice.
I love it. I love it. So, well, listen, thank you to all the volunteers that have helped put on this year's program, but also thank you to the number of volunteers that have been helping over the years with the Growler event itself. You know how much work goes into this, if you've helped in any way, shape, or form, and if you've attended one of these functions, you know how much it takes to put these things on, to host all 32 teams and nearly 1,000 people on opening night and closing nights. When we do these events, it takes so many people to do this, and we couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. I do want to give a special shout out to the St. Baldrick's Foundation staff that are on the call tonight. Jane Hoppin, please raise your hand and wave. There you go. Thank you. Kelsey Cannon, you're here as well. There you go, Kelsey. Very good. And Vanessa Castro, thank you for being here. We really appreciate all the efforts that you do with the foundation nationally and help us here locally as we run our event each year. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mark Williams, the Growler organizer, for a few words. I do want to give a big shout out to Mark, though. Mark has been doing this thing for 13 years, and those on the screen and in Growler Nation, give him a big round of applause for all that he, and of course the support that his beautiful bride, Suzanne, has given over the years to him to help this organization and function and event along, because we love you, Mark, and we can't thank you enough for what you do behind the scenes to make this such a special event. So, Mark, take it away and give us a few words.
Thanks, Crazy. I appreciate it, and always have the gift of gab, and need you there because I'll just ramble on. So anyway, but look, I want to welcome everyone and welcome to the 10th annual St. Baldrick's Rock the Ball event. I mean, we always joke about the 13th, being our unlucky year, but I think we should treat this year as a celebration to raise money for children's cancer research. Even though we didn't play volleyball, we're not out. So we're going to show that we can still be, a force and still go strong with our efforts with St. Baldrick's. So if you've ever been to Growler, you've probably seen the T-shirt display behind me. I'm going to view it down just a little bit so you can see it. But yeah, this basically represents 10 years of Growler, and I wanted to share this with you because every shirt up here tells a story. I mean, from all the families that we've supported in the past, whose children are, being treated, going through chemo and other treatments to cure their cancers, to all our great shavees, all the people that raise money, and the stories that they've told over the years. It's just been, very special. And like I say, each of these shirts kind of represent that. So just wanted to, to bring that along. And, it's funny, our very first shirt right here of Growler, we raised kind of a mere, a little over $4,000. And we were just so excited that, hey, we got to play some volleyball, drink a few beers, and raise $4,000 for a great cause. And who would have ever known that 10 years later that we're over $500,000. So $500,000 in 10 years. And I want everybody to give like a big hand to everybody, all our supporters, shavies, volunteers. great sponsors. We have just had so many solid folks, that are with us each and every year. So, so I really want, this to be, kind of a reflection of years past. So, as Cruzy was mentioning before, post your pictures of if you're doing a shave party, your own local shave party, post it in the comments on Facebook Live. If you can dig out some old photos from years past, post those as well. We'd love to see those. So normally, our head shaving event, we can kind of consider that as our grand finale for Growler. Well, this year, let's look at it as our kickoff. So, because I really feel like we can just start to get the ball rolling here. And so, COVID has created a little bit of a blip for us. And with that, we're going to, switch things up a little bit. So far as our goal, we're kind of bouncing around. I really don't have a definite goal, but I'll tell you the stakes. If we get over 50,000, then we'll be in the top 5 St. Baldrick's events in the state. If we go over 71,000, we'll be in the top 3. And if we can reach 85,000, we'll be the 2nd largest event in North Carolina. So I think we really need to strive for those goals. And, even after tonight is over, let's, share this video with all our friends and see what, continue to try to raise money throughout the end of the year. So, so let's see where we are right now. Kelsey, if you can pop up the video, make sure we're showing some numbers. Okay, I don't know if we're there yet. Here we go. So basically, yeah. So our top participant, Scott Carboni, it's totally solid every year, and always we have these just tremendous fundraisers, and very difficult to come back year to year, but Scott always does it and exceeds each and every year. So far as some of our other top performers, we got Rob Cash, which is back again this year. Savannah Bukowski, man, look at her. She's shaved for a few years, and that's going to be really special because she's going to do the full thing. I think she's been doing the pixie cut for the past couple of years. So we're really excited for Savannah. So and so far as our top teams go, top team is Sand Diggers, thanks in large part to Scott. But one thing I want to point out is the top 5 teams. Look at those guys. I mean, the thing that's special about this is that we represent 5 different clubs here: Springdale, Seven Oaks, Harrington Grove, Lake Park, Greystone, Crabtree. You see down the list. So our strength has always been the networking of our 7 different host clubs, and you guys just do a tremendous part to network and come together every year. So thank you again for that. And like I say, I know, let's don't think of today as being our grand finale. I think we're just getting started. So and the shout out to all the clubs. We've had some really kind of special events going on with Greystone doing their Grumbler to raise money this year. Brian Toby, shout out to him for Team Kona to do a fundraiser at Seven Oaks. So really appreciate the things you're doing. So so with this, I'd like to now introduce Jane Hoppin, who's the Director of Family Relations for St. Baldrick's. And I tell you, Jane has just been really solid resource for us and a local contact. So so Jane, I'll turn it over to you.
Great, thanks, Mark. I've been fortunate to attend the Growler event for the last 9 years, and I know that I'm not alone in wishing that we were all physically together tonight. Zoom and Facebook Live won't have as much sweat or sand as Springdale, but we'll be just as full of an amazing group of people committed to helping kids with cancer. September is actually Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and so I cannot think of a better kickoff to the month than this event. I really want to thank Mark, John, Scott, Angela, the entire Growler Nation for your leadership and your support. I know Mark shared some numbers there earlier, but you have actually raised more than $555,000 since 2011. That's definitely something to celebrate, and that's incredible. With all that's going on in the world right now, and there's a lot going on, some people may feel a little shy about asking people for support, and you may be wondering where to give the precious dollars that you have. And I just want to spend just a couple of minutes telling you why supporting St. Baldrick's is always a great idea. We are the largest funder of childhood cancer research grants in the world, following the US government. And St. Baldrick's volunteers have been part of virtually every advancement in the field of childhood cancer research for the past 20 years. And the St. Baldrick's community has generously donated more than $300 million to that research pipeline in that time. But nearly $4 million of that has been awarded in our own backyard at Duke and UNC. So a lot of it does come back here locally as well. Those grants support studies in the laboratory. They support translational research and work that make those lab discoveries actually available to patients, clinical trials that verify the best therapy for each individual child. And we have also helped ensure that a new generation of physician scientists, a new set of childhood cancer researchers are trained to carry on the research that's being done today, and that it continues without interruption, even with what's going on in the world right now. So that work is treating and researching more than 100 different types of childhood cancers and allowing doctors to move beyond the traditional three of chemotherapy, surgery, and radiation to include newer, less toxic therapies such as gene therapy and immunotherapy. So in essence, you are helping children with cancer live longer, healthier lives. With that, and while there has been much progress and a lot to celebrate, for many types of childhood cancers, there's still no cure or even viable treatment options, especially after a child relapses. And cancer remains the #1 disease killer of kids in the US, and so much work does remain, which is why we're here tonight. So volleyball may be canceled this year, but you've shown that nothing can cancel your commitment to kids with cancer. And for that, I cannot thank you enough. So now I'm going to turn things over to Bill, who has a few words to share to thank our sponsors. Thanks again, everybody.
Thanks, Jane. How you doing, everyone? Bill Speary. Been involved with this organization as a player for 8 or so years, as a donator, contributor. But Mark brought me in, I guess, to help with some of the leadership aspects a couple of years ago, and it's really been amazing. To get to play volleyball is fun, but to see what this organization, this group can do is just absolutely awe-inspiring. When I hear those numbers, $500,000, I just can't believe everything that we've been able to do as a group. My specific aspect here is to talk about the sponsors whom we could do not nearly what it is that we're able to do. So we're always happy to be able to call out some specific sponsors who have helped us in years past, and then specifically this year. Some of our partner sponsors, we actually have ironically more partners this year than we've ever had before. GFL usually assists with helping us with trash collection. They also are the people running around in either the pink or the green shirts, depending on the year, that make things so much nicer for those of us who have played volleyball for 2 or 3 hours and then get the trash bag out and try and clean up Springdale or Greystone or Lake Park. So they've been such a huge help in the past. Ben Habits in particular has been a great partner. I know he's got good relationships with Mark and Cruzy, and so we certainly thank him. The next one's a new one. Actually, we were able to get a new sponsor this year, which was great. We usually average 4 or 5, but this being a different year, just getting an additional sponsor, and it's certainly one at this level, was great. Get stuff done for kids. I'm sure they could say it much more cleanly, but essentially it's like Make-A-Wish for kids, but not necessarily kids who are experiencing hardships due to health. It's also an organization at a local level trying to provide good opportunities for kids who may not be able to otherwise experience them. They were a huge assistance this year. They came in on their white horse and provided us a web portal for us to order t-shirts, which we were trying to figure out a way to make these t-shirts, which if you're like me, I'm wearing them 4 or 5 days a week. So I had to get 2 new Growler t-shirts or else my wardrobe is going to be affected for the next couple of months. So I was pushing that so hard, and we were trying to figure out a way to sell them, and they came in huge with a web portal, specific or 100% for free. The other amazing thing they did was they cover the cost of the printing of all of the shirts. So $5,800, so that every dollar from the shirt sales went to St. Baldrick's, which was just insane. So Get Stuff Done for Kids, a huge partner that we wanted to call out. Carmela in particular, who we dealt with, thank you so much for all that you did. The next big partner sponsors, Linwood. Linwood's been with the Growler for as long as I can remember, so I know it's at least more than 8 years, so Mark would probably know the specific. Linwood, and then also Linwood Brewing Concern, dual partner recognition because they donated $10,000. So partner level is 5,000 plus, and they came in with 10. And wanted to recognize both Linwood and Linwood Brewing Concern. Ted, the owner over there, has been at the Growler every year since I can remember as well, and they're a huge food sponsor. Normally, obviously, they couldn't do food this year, so they came in with some money, and we couldn't be more thankful. The next set of sponsors are our Spike level sponsors, which is like $1,500 or more. Another couple familiar names. Dr. Eric Campbell's a huge proponent of the Growler. Usually provides the cups that you drink when you go have your beverages in between games or after games. If you're like me, I don't drink until we're done. I think I'm in the minority on that, but a lot of people get those Campbell cups, take them home. I probably have like 5 or 10 in my cabinet. So Dr. Campbell, huge sponsor, huge supporter for years, actually both he and Nicole play on some Growler teams. So we certainly want to call them out. Jacobs Construction, David Jacobs usually provides the lights for the facility. He pays for that out of his own pocket. But this year, since he couldn't do that, made a huge $1,000 donation, or $1,500 donation. So certainly wanted to call those 2 out. The other ones equally as important, Ryan Oxendine from Oxendine Barnes, Christine Allison, who's with Next Page Realty, is also a huge volunteer for the Growler. She's on the Growl leadership team. Real Engineering, Danny Howell, another player, another huge proponent. Usually Danny and I are spending the first and last Tuesday together making Springdale ready for the event. The Hummers is a band that normally plays. Obviously, we didn't get to hear them play music this year, but they reached out and said they specifically wanted to donate to a great cause. Progressive Graphics prints all the t-shirts that we all love. And then BTM Landscapes, Bunky, who's been a member of Springdale forever, always supports us. Bradshaw Landscapes, who normally gives us sand, gave us money this year. North State Bank, another connection I think Cruzy had. Robin Daly, Northgate Surgical, Trisha from Greystone brings in that's who she works for. And then Jackie's Cut You, also Jackie masked behind Carboni. But again, she's been involved with this event ever since we can imagine, or ever since it started, as long as I can imagine. But anyway, I just wanted to call out the sponsors, thank them all for joining us, especially in this year where we know things are tough. Being able to give resources at all during these times, especially for restaurants. We know normally we have a lot more restaurant sponsors, but given the time that it is, we just were really, really thankful for all of the sponsors who joined us. We hope to be back to normal in 2021. We plan to be back to normal in 2021. We plan to, as Jane said, when we're doing this next shaving, be covered in sand and sweating. But for now, was a phenomenal response. So thank you to the fellow Growl leadership members. Thank you to St. Baldrick's. Thank you to the sponsors for everything that you've provided to both the Growler and to St. Baldrick's. So now I'll kick it over back to Cruzy. John, appreciate it. Thanks.
Great job, Bill. Thank you so much for your comments, and thank you to all those sponsors for your continued support in different ways. We sure appreciate that each and every year to help make this happen. And we just love the creativity that continues to come from our sponsors to help support that. And so thank you for your comments, Jane and Mark, as well for yours. So, hey, we're going to be moving right along with this and be shaving in just a few minutes. I do want to introduce the people who are shaving this evening. Kind of a first show of hands. We'll just wave to the crowd as you do this, as I introduce and say just a few words. The first one tonight is Savannah Bukowski. Savannah, raise your hand. Very good. Savannah is 9 years old. She's raised nearly $500 just this year for her shaving. She's shaved before, but tonight she's going to apparently shave completely her whole head. So got her dad Adam with her and going to help with the shaving event. Adam plays on Harrington Grove Swing Rays, so give a big shout out for Harrington Grove. And they're very excited to be with us, and we're excited to have you as well. Next one is Rob Cash. Rob, give a big wave. There you are. Rob is currently at around $2,800 for raise for this year. This is his 11th shave, 10th year being in this, and has raised nearly $25,000 on his own over the years for St. Baldrick's Foundation and the Growler event. One thing, Rob is not on a Growler team, but continues to be a big supporter of the event, and is shaving for because a former colleague had him shave years ago, and in honor of that person's daughter who passed away a few years ago at the age of 9, he continues to be a big supporter. So Rob, thank you for being with us this evening. Jeb Powell. Jeb, wave to us. There you are, Jeb. Fantastic. Jeb continues to be a huge supporter of the St. Baldrick's Foundation and the Growler event. Jeb had a son, Sawyer Powell. Unfortunately, I believe passed away, and we're thoughts and prayers with you and your family in that process there. But we continue to raise money to help others, and thank you for being with us this evening as well. So just know you're in our thoughts and prayers. Joe Meyerhofer, I think, Joe, there he is. Folks in Growler Nation probably won't recognize Joe. Maybe you will when he shaves his head here a little bit, but the curly hairs are going tonight. I like it, whoever's helping there. Thanks for showing off just a little bit about what Joe's been doing over the last few months in his quarantine time. Joe is on the infamous Team Kona, and we have a lot of support out there from Team Kona and have for a number of years, and is right now at about $2,000 that he's raised. Over the 16 years of raising money for St. Baldrick's itself, Joe has raised a little over $25,000 for that, especially during his time with the Magellan Charter School. That has helped raise $250,000 on their own for that. So, Joe, we know the Growler's special to you and your family and in our community and what you do for the cancer research and in our schools. So thank you so much for what you do there. Second to the last one, Greg Kloppenstein. Greg, where are you? Are you there? There he is. Team Greg is out there. Fantastic. They're out representing tonight. He and his wife, Kayla, have been huge supporters of the Growler for a number of years. This year, Greg raised about $1,000 for the Growler in this event, and over the years has been north of about $15,000. Greg is on the Pass It Around Lake Park volleyball team. Almost looks like you're at Lake Park now. I recognize that place. We have to turn our head a little bit to see you, but we're trying to get a good view of kind of what you've done there. But thank you. Greg understands what it means to be helping with cancer research in his pharmaceutical research field for over 20 years, and he recognizes that pediatric research is not nearly funded enough, and so he continues to help us in that way. And last but not least, I wanted to introduce Scott Carboni. Scott, wave up there. Very good. Scott is shaving this evening with Jackie. Jackie's Cuts has been a staple with this organization, like I mentioned before. I got to tell you, Scott continues each year to be one of the top fundraisers for us. Set a goal of $4,000 or $5,000 this year. Bumped that because that wasn't enough. I think a couple days ago was at $7,000, and then tonight is I think eclipsed $9,000. Is that right, Scott? Of how much you've raised, along with your connections and people you've reached out to. Some of those are on the call tonight. Some will be speaking. And so Scott's part of the Springdale Sand Diggers that have continued to be one of the top teams in raising money. And just thank you so much. I won't steal all your thunder because I want you to share a little bit of who you're shaving in honor of tonight and your background with this. So Scott, I'm going to let you take it away and say a few things and then introduce our next speaker. Go for it.
Thank you. Normally at this point, I'm looking out over hundreds to probably thousands of people, and somewhere along the line, I cry. So I'm hoping that now that I'm on Zoom, it won't be a cry fest. So I like Bill Sperry. I think I've been doing this 8 or 9 years, and I really want this to be my last year. Can you imagine if we're not doing this next year to raise funds for these kids? All right, Zoom, it doesn't matter. It ain't gonna work. You know, these, imagine if we don't have to shave heads, and we don't have to have bake sales, and we don't have to have lemonade stands, and we're finding a cure for cancer. Well, every dollar that you're donating now is helping us get there. So I gotta admit, I'm a little bit tired of, you know, 2020 and the new reality. And I thought about this a lot this week in particular. For childhood cancer, nothing's changed. This is still the old reality. They wear masks. They deal with needles. They have to regularly sanitize. They're quarantined. There's no known cure for many of those childhood cancers. They miss out on birthdays and concerts and sports and schools and life events. So all the things we complain about now because of COVID, welcome to cancer. Welcome to childhood cancer, what these kids and families fight for. So that's why I'll continue doing this until we don't have to do this anymore. You know, they're curing these kids and treating these kids with 30-year-old poisons, things that you couldn't give to a prisoner of war, or a Geneva Convention would outlaw it. You know, Jane said it eloquently. She said it nicer than I'm going to say it. It's crazy that we're the second largest, and you know, our federal government only raises less than 4% for childhood cancer, and I struggle with that. So today, I shaved my head and my goatee in honor of Jack Attack, which you guys will hear from him in a minute. Harrison, who was one of our Growler kids. Bryce, another Growler kid. My friend Levi and Hunter Weiss, another Growler kid. They've all survived cancer. But I'm also, sorry. I'm also doing so in memory of beautiful Hannah Markin, and she was a Growler kid, and Sawyer Sharp, and Sawyer Powell. And I just met a mom today, Elizabeth. This goatee's going for Elizabeth tonight. So, you know, how many others are gonna have to look down on us? When is this, I can't say the word, when is this poop gonna stop? It's just not okay. So fortunately, it's, you know, I'm gonna turn this over to two very good friends and let them share their reality of childhood cancer. Kelly Sharp, you'll hear from her in a little bit, Sawyer's mom, and Emily Callahan, who's Jack's mom. Emily is a close friend. We grew up together. I think I met her parents when I was Jack's age, I think 6. And my sister and I grew up with them. They were neighbors across the street. And we lost contact for, I don't know, probably 20 years. And it sucks that we got connected again because Jack was fighting cancer. So enough of my babbling. I want you guys to grab a tissue, and I want to introduce you to Emily and Jack. Jack Attack, this is for you, buddy.
Thanks. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. I want to say thank you for the opportunity to be involved again this year in the Growler. Last year we were in the hospital at this time, and we had hoped to be there on the sand, but you know, that didn't work out, and so we're doing the next best thing. It's really special to my husband Mike and I because we grew up in Raleigh, and grew up swimming. Mike grew up swimming at Greystone and at Seven Oaks, and Mike and I coached Seven Oaks. So all of these places that you mentioned and seeing all these places work together touches really near and dear to our heart. On February 3rd, 2019, we were just like any other family. My husband Mike and I had jobs we loved. We had a healthy 3-year-old and a house we loved. The life was pretty good. I had just returned from a work trip to the West Coast, and we went with friends to watch the Super Bowl. Jack had been complaining about some leg pain and just some other, pain for a little while when we brought him to the doctor and kind of chalked it up to the growing pains and typical like childhood viruses. It got bad enough that the next day they recommended to be taken to an orthopedist for a closer look. That turned into an admission to the hospital, an MRI, pain management. And on February 5th, 2019, we heard 3 words that changed our lives forever. We found a mass. It was a punch in the gut, a slap in the face. I don't really know how to explain it. The next day, we were sent into complete orbit when 3 more words changed our lives. We were sitting in the playroom at the UVA Children's Hospital. We were playing with Jack, trains, and doctor came in and asked if she could speak to us. We elected to stay in the playroom, and she sat on one of those tiny preschool chairs. I still remember her, because looking up at her with a resident by her side. And she didn't waste any time. She just said, Jack has cancer. The mass in his pelvis was the size of a grapefruit, and his lungs were filled with innumerable lesions. No, I love you, buddy. I'm okay. I looked at my curly-haired 3-year-old, and I couldn't comprehend what was happening. We became immediate members of a club I had no plan of joining. Kelly, I know you didn't plan to join it either, and none of us did. I didn't complete an application. I wasn't given a trial membership. In just seconds, we became a member of the pediatric cancer world. So a world filled with things I never want to see again. It was a normal day for Jack to vomit blood. It was a normal day for him to spike fevers of over 105. A normal day for him to scream in pain, not from cancer, but from the drugs they had to use to treat it. It was a normal day to talk to other parents who were grieving the loss of their child or were in receipt of bad test results. It's also a world filled with some of the very best you'll ever see in humanity, filled with love and kindness like you wouldn't believe unless you've been a part of this world. It's filled with the strongest kids and families you'll ever see. Our family ultimately had to move to Philadelphia for 10 months when Jack's frontline treatment wasn't working. Mike and I both had to leave jobs. We worked years to attain. It was tough, but I would do it again and again and again. This is, like Jack flick right here, this is the face of a warrior. The face of a kid who's endured more challenges physically and mentally than most adults. He has lost some hearing from chemotherapy, and he'll suffer long-term complications because of the drugs they had to treat him, but he's here with us. I'm grateful, but our fight's not over. We need to do better. We need to do better. We need better treatment options. We need better supports for families. Giving tonight and giving to organizations like St. Baldrick's will help ensure a brighter future for Jack. And it will ensure a brighter future for families whose lives have not yet been changed by those 3 words, but will be in the future. And now, is it time to count them down?
I think what we need to do is we need to fire up the clippers and make sure we're ready to go.
All right.
We have all the people ready.
Let's make sure our shavies are ready. So Jack, are you going to count down for us?
You can count us down? Everybody ready?
3, 2, 1, save.
Look, everybody.
You wave
Okay,
at
say it again. Yell it.
3, 2, 1, save.
All right.
Good soldier.
All good. Look at that.
Look at everybody.
Oh my gosh.
We have 60 people watching on Facebook, everybody.
Oh my gosh, look, their hair's falling off.
That is great. Savannah, you're doing great. That smile's getting you through it. I love it. Jeb, you're doing well.
Yeah.
You're doing good.
A lot of hair.
That's good
We
stuff.
need Jackie over here.
Look at there. Jackie's cleaning it up. Make sure you get the back hair, Jackie. With Scott now. Okay.
Hey, Savannah, you look great. You're a rock star, girl. Look good.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, Savannah's hair's coming out quick.
Look at there. Joe, you're making it happen. I love it, buddy.
Feels better already.
That's good stuff.
Hey, Joe, did I see that you have done this for 16 years?
Yeah, 16 years.
That was not a misprint? That's incredible.
Yeah. Always starts out as a dare, then you find out it's a really great cause and you just jump right in. So
Okay, so I know there are levels of involvement for St. Baldrick's. That's like way past what commander or whatever? I'm not sure.
I am Jane, help me out here. I got something last year for 15 was a knight was 10 years and 15 years was something else. Whoa.
You're a crusader for a cure.
Crusader.
Okay. That's awesome. Thank you.
Rob Cash, you're looking good over there. Give us a big thumbs up. You're almost ready to finish it up.
Hard time. There's too much hair.
There's too much hair.
It's too much hair.
Jeff, did you get a haircut this year?
No, it's been about a whole year since I've cut. Uh-oh, I just unplugged my clippers. Hang on. So far, so good, though.
Oh, beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Looks great, Jeff.
Ball.
Look, I almost look young now with this haircut.
Kelly Sharp, thank you for your help raising money. This goatee's going for Sawyers and Elizabeth and everyone.
The goatee is going for fantastic. I love it.
Let's see, Scott.
I'm back.
Hey, Joe, I think you need to leave yours like that. You look like
do too.
one of those characters off of The Simpsons. Who's that guy?
I just need blue hair.
Was that Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons? Is that what it was? Love it. Love it. We're getting
Yeah, I just need $500 more from my friends that are watching this thing on Team Kona and the crew.
Somebody just donated $500 more to Team Joe Meyerhofer. Thank you very much. Feel free to share their names if it's somebody that you know.
I knew the Bouchards did earlier today. They gave me 200 real fast when they got back from Michigan. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Look at how Savannah is looking good up there.
Oh, nice.
That's an help. Look at that smile's getting bigger and bigger as we go.
Oh, you look.
Yeah.
That's great.
How does it feel, Savannah?
It feels kind of weird.
Speak up.
Explain it a little bit.
Oh my god, but it feels so soft.
That's great.
Rob's got a cool mohawk going on.
And this is
Oh yeah.
Rob just became a knight commander this year. This is his 10th shave.
Wow.
Awesome.
Nice.
Oh.
Congratulations to Rob. Well done. That is fantastic. Oh, Scott Carboni's getting the goatee is almost gone.
It's gone.
It is gone.
How much money are we up to now, Art?
Okay, on the site, it says 34,362. So come on, guys. We've got to
You got a 9-year-old girl just shaved her head.
just refresh that.
Actually,
Yeah, come
Mark,
on, guys.
34,614. So
There we go. Yeah, I didn't refresh.
Out there in Growler Nation and on Facebook Live, if you would care to donate, feel free to do that. I believe the link is there through stbaldricks.org events and 2020 Growler. So feel free to help us out to reach our goal of 60,000 for this event. Just know that we need your support tonight. If you do make a donation, just understand that matching gifts do count as well. So if you make that contribution, please submit through your employer, if you can, to help double the gift to help get us to our goal by the end of the year. So thank you so much for that.
What do you think, Jack?
What do you think?
Good.
Good. Are we handsome and beautiful?
Carboni, you look like 25 years younger without all that.
Yeah, look at the
I mean, I don't even recognize you. I can barely even recognize you.
Jackie,
Savannah, you look great.
oh, way to go, Savannah. Let's see what you got. Let's see that smile, Savannah.
You have a beautiful head.
I did.
Awesome, Savannah.
That's awesome.
You get
The only,
yes.
the only
Applause for being the youngest on the call tonight, shaving, 9 years old, and a smile that'll bring in $1 million. Thank you so much for your support. Looks like Jeb is finished up as well. Looking good, Jeb.
Gosh.
All around.
Yeah. Thank you.
Indeed. Rob
It
Cash.
was like 3 pounds of hair.
Great job there. Looking great. Thank you for your helper as well back there. Give him a big thumbs up there. Awesome. Joe Meyerhofer, thank you for doing it tonight as well. Looking
My
really
pleasure.
good. Indeed. Waiting for, I think we may have lost Greg, but they'll probably jump back on in just a little bit. I know he didn't have much hair to start with, but he was out there raising money for it. So thank you to Greg as well.
Off his beard.
Oh my, look at there, Jackie.
Came off his beard.
You sure that's
And this
not
one
a
came off
mouse?
my head.
Oh,
You didn't find that as a mouse trap or something, did you,
Beard was
Jack?
this much hair. His head was that much hair.
I don't need
you're gonna get it anyway.
Oh, this is fantastic. Listen, as we're wrapping up the shaving, we wanted to make sure that we heard from another St. Baldrick's Foundation supporter in Kelly Sharp. Kelly will talk a little bit about her son who lost his fight with cancer, but she has a special message for us this evening and speak about childhood cancer research and what it means to her and her family. So Kelly, if you would, please take a few minutes to share a little bit about your connection with the Growler and the organization.
Okay, sure. First of all, thank you everybody that is involved with the Growler for the many years that you've done this, not just this year, but the many years that you've been doing this. You did this before my child was even diagnosed and before I even knew that this was an issue for my family. And thank you, St. Baldrick's, for everything that you do. Jane, number 7, Jane, I love you, and thank you for all that you do and for letting me be involved. I've been involved with St. Baldrick's since my son was right after his diagnosis. He was diagnosed with glioblastoma, brain tumor, in January 2011. He battled for 21 months and passed away in 2012. He was just 8 years old, and he was a few weeks into the 3rd grade when he lost his battle. He was my only child, and I've been working with St. Baldrick's, or volunteering with St. Baldrick's since. I advocate with them in Washington, D.C. They have allowed me to advocate on a higher level than I could have done on my own. Jane, we've gone to Washington, D.C., and we speak with the House reps and the senators and trying to get more funding and for the research and passing bills, and just they've allowed me to advocate on a whole different level. I was actually their advocate of the month in October of last year, and that was a huge honor to me. I can't thank them enough for what they've done for me as an advocate, and as well for all just everything they do for children fighting this disease. Without them, I mean, like Scott and everybody has said, the government gives less than 4% of the total research budget for childhood cancer, and clearly that's just not enough. And as a parent of a cancer child, that's just really, it's insulting, to be honest. There should be more funding, and thank God for St. Baldrick's and for everybody that donates and shaves, and just, I mean, it's a group effort, and without you, these kids would have zero hope. It's sad that that's how it is, and we beat our head against the wall in DC and across the country, and I have people literally all over the country, all over the world that are trying to get more money for funding and trying to get people to listen, and why this is not an issue and important to people I don't know. But anyway, it's not about my kid, it's about your kid, it's about every kid and what they deserve. They all deserve more than dying in 3rd grade. It's just, that's not okay. It's not okay now. It's not going to be okay. It's never going to be okay. I'll never think that that's okay. My kid deserved more. And so I'm not fighting for him because it's too late, but I'm fighting for all the kids that will be diagnosed, and because it shouldn't be a death sentence when you go to the doctor with a headache or for whatever reason. You know, there should be options. There should be more drugs. There shouldn't be 25-year-old poisons that are given to these kids. And sadly, the ones that do survive, that's not usually a bonus either, because they have the residual effects from these poisons, as they've said. The childhood cancer is not the same as adult cancer. The drugs need to be different. We can't give these kids drugs that were given adults. It's just not the same disease. It's totally different. And we need the funding. We need funding, money to research so we can give these kids drugs to give them hope so they can at least have a fighting chance when they're diagnosed with this. Because I've been to too many funerals and I've talked to too many parents. I have too many contacts in my phone that can ring me at any hour of the night and have their grief meltdown with me. And it's not okay. And so I thank everybody, anybody. Thank you for all my people that came and donated today when I did my panic, please donate thing at the last minute today. And just thank you, anybody that donated. And I always say, if you don't have $1, I understand that. Times are tough. This pandemic has changed a lot of stuff. If you don't have $1 to donate, that's okay. If you don't have $1, at least if you can't give $1, please just give a damn and just share this, because awareness equals funding and funding equals research, and research is where the cure is going to come from. So thank you to everybody that's donated, no matter what the amount. Thank you for donating your time. Thank you for listening to me every year do my sob story. But again, it's not about Sawyer. It's because of Sawyer. And it's because of Allie, and it's because of Micah, and it's because of the other Sawyer, and it's because of, it's because of Hunter, and it's because of just everybody, Hannah. And if I could sit here all night long and the list go on and on and on and on right off the top of my head. And that's not okay. We need to change that. And with the help of you guys, and because of what you're doing, these kids will be, they can have some hope that maybe one day we won't have to do this. And you can just play volleyball and get drunk for fun, not because you're raising money for kids' cancer. So that's my dream. And thank you all, because that's my mission in life. Until they lay me down next to my baby, it's not okay. And I'm going to fight to make sure that these next kids get what they deserve. So thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Scott.
And I think all of us have been affected by cancer one way or the other. I mean, either someone in your family, a good friend, maybe it's not childhood cancer, it's someone. One of the driving passions for me is I lost my brother to cancer. Cruzy, can you tell a story? The picture behind you, I'm sure everybody's wondering about that. And you told this while we were setting up before this. So move out of the way and show everybody the picture behind you.
I will do it in just a moment. Thank you, Mark. As we wrap up here tonight, I do want to hear, before we do that, I want to hear from any of the other people that shaved tonight. If you have any comments or any words that you'd like to share. Jeb Powell, I know that you wanted to say a few words. Please come on and say a few words of what this means to you, and Rob and Adam and others, if you want to as well. Please come take this time to do that.
Thank you for letting me talk. I'm doing this in honor of my son, Sawyer, who passed last year to an ependymoma. And he was first diagnosed when he was 4, and he passed away when he was 10. And it was a hard road, but he really stuck in it, and he didn't complain at all, ever about it. He was very strong, and he was a very sweet boy. And thank you all so much for letting me do this, and thank you for having the Growler event. I went there one year, and he was having treatment at the time, but he was very happy to have me come up there for him, and we had a good time. I had some friends from my work that joined us and helped raise some money there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeb.
Thank you, Jeb. Rob or Adam, do you want to say anything, or Joe? Any couple words at all?
Sure. Well, Savannah's a little shy now, but she has been super excited to do this, and just grateful for everybody that has supported this for her to do. Being a 9-year-old girl, it's a pretty big deal to shave your head. I didn't even want to do it, so for her to go and do it, super proud of her. She's just amazing girl. She's raised $1,194 total to this minute, and just she's just a great girl. You want to say anything? Just say
I don't
something. Okay.
Hey, Savannah, that is my daughter. She stayed with me at Magellan for St. Baldrick's. And it will grow back. She has long, curly hair right now. I think Jane might have been there when that one happened. I'm not sure. Yeah. But
Remember that.
very brave, we're all very proud of you. And I basically told my team to start giving you money because you deserve the money because you did it. You did the full shape for the first time. I remember you last year doing a little bit. And one other thing, I want to be able to donate this to the Team Kona Baldmen Society. That they can have this for next year. They could glue it on and they can become part of the Shavies. That's it. Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else you want to say a few words? Rob or Greg? Real good. Well, listen, I do want to say a few words to kind of wrap up for the evening here. Mark asked me to speak a little bit about the picture that's behind me, and I'm going to stand up and kind of get out of the way. Just to give a little bit of background, when the Growler was started 13 years ago, we raised a little bit of money for, we had a lot of fun playing volleyball in our community and that type of thing. But after 3 or 4 years, we started to raise a little bit of money, and Mark called me one day, and the day that he called me, I was at MD Anderson helping as a plasma donor for my brother, who had childhood cancer and was diagnosed with a different form of cancer as well. And so with what Mark had gone through with his family, what we had with our family, this is a picture of me as a donor. And typically, family members are not perfect matches, but by the grace of God, our family, I'm the closest in age to my brother Kurt, who I was a perfect match for him. And that's the weekend of my brother Kurt and his wife Leah's 25th wedding anniversary, where they were injected with plasma to be able to start his recovery from cancer as well down at MD Anderson. I can't thank the people at MD Anderson for all of their years and work what they do for cancer research as well. It's just been fantastic. And now that I sit down, I do see a little bit of the creepiness here. My brother is always looking over my shoulder. I guess that's what older brothers do. But it's a shout out from both of us for our sister that we lost when we were young to cancer as well. And our sister Cindy, we love and miss her as well. And our other brother who is currently going through cancer treatments, brother Tim. So from our family to yours and the entire Growler family and Growler Nation, thank you for what you do. We really appreciate it. We'll continue to fight the fight. And all I got to say is hug your kids, hug your family. Because today is a great day, but tomorrow we can find a cure. And thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of it. I really appreciate all your love and support and working together to help find a cure. So thank you all for being with us, and to you and out on Facebook Live. Thank you for your support, and make sure you see where you can make a donation, and just know that your donations do count, because we will find a cure one day. We're going to continue to fight the fight. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.